Coming up, Sergei Pavlovich makes short work of Curtis Blaydes in the main event of UFC Vegas 71. Gervonta Davis picks up an impressive victory over Ryan Garcia, whilst blockbuster fights in both One Championship and Bellator round up a brilliant week of combat sports action. My name is Frank Bonada here for the MMA stream, joined once again by Scotland's finest, Mr. Murdo Todd, here in the aftermath of well, UFC Fight Night Pavlovich versus Blaydes, in which Pavlovich got a big KO finish. We also had Gervonta Davis versus Ryan Garcia go down in the world of boxing. Bellator had some events on, Patchy Mix versus Rafian Stots, and Jonathan Haggerty versus Nong-O over at one. So yeah, some pretty, a weekend of a lot of fairly high profile fights, to be honest. Maybe like no super marquee names, but just a host of good ones. But yeah, how are you, mate? After this past weekend?
I'm good. There's still a lot of fights I need to catch up on. There's just been so much on. But yeah,
Yeah,
really good, high quality martial arts and boxing on this weekend. It was good to see.
genuinely, probably the worst outlet for these events might well have been the UFC for once.
Yeah,
Billed as the high profile combat sports engine that it is, and we ended up with, well, let's start with Sergei Pavlovich versus Curtis Blaydes. The fight only went one round, as was kind of expected with any heavyweight bout. Yeah, man, Curtis Blaydes probably isn't going to fight for a title now, is he?
no. I think like if you're John Jones, you're loving this. That's like, but you kind of got a feel for Curtis because he's
Oh yeah.
beating everyone else except like three guys who are possibly three of the most dangerous heavyweights, hardest hitting heavyweights that we've ever seen. So
Mhm.
he's just been running into really tough competition. I thought like I don't know why he was standing with him. I don't know why. Yeah, I mean, but Pavlovich is just super impressive. I mean, he's an absolute beast. I'd like to see him
Yeah.
fight for the title next, but what do you think Curtis does from here?
Oh, who knows? Run it back with Aspinall, go fight. God, I don't even know. Maybe the winner of Rosenstruik versus Almeida, which will be Almeida. So maybe go fight Almeida.
How old is
um,
he now?
who?
Blaydes.
Right,
Blaydes.
I can find out quickly for you. 32.
Oh, he's still
I
quite young. I
by
thought he was older than
heavyweight
that.
standards, he's a baby.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean the thing is, Pavlovich won, but like because he's got so much power and stuff, he looks dramatic when he wins. But
Yeah.
when he just ran into like Blade's jab like so many times. He got like it's a ridiculous. I'll try to throw up a clip here, but the amount of times he just charged forward swinging, got hit in the face like three times, and just carried on. Uh, I mean, he would have been murdered by Ngannou. Like,
Do you think?
oh yeah, I think Ngannou would have killed him.
Really?
I
I think,
really
oh,
do.
my back? Could you not? Oh, that would be a great fight to watch, but
It would
we'll
be
never
felt.
see it. But
Yeah.
what does Pavlovich do now?
I mean, that's the thing. Like he said he'd be willing to wait for um Jones versus Miocic to take place. But the thing is, like Jones has sort of said, "Oh, that might be my retirement fight." So
Hmm.
if he beats Miocic, what's next? I mean, who else is there in the top rankings? Let's have a quick look at heavyweight.
Heavyweight's
Um,
it's paper thin.
it is, it is. Oh, Garn, I guess. I guess Cyril Garn's the other one to make.
And if we're
Uh,
going off how UFC title fights, how often they happen, you'll be waiting a very long time
oh
because
yeah,
they seem to happen once a year, which is just stupid.
yeah.
But
I mean, Pavlovich has mastered getting his what bang for his buck. He goes in every single time and give it 3 minutes and get paid like however much he could get. I wonder what wage he's on now because he's only like 6 or 7 fights into his UFC career.
probably decent enough. And he's
Yeah,
earned a lot of money off bonuses as well.
yeah, definitely.
But
Yeah, Pavlovich versus Garn if the Jones fight
yeah,
can't be made. I think,
that could be fun. They'll probably
yeah.
put an interim title on the line for some reason. I mean, do you know what I
Cyril
mean?
Garn loves an interim title. Yeah. Uh,
But I mean, I know you're saying about like getting hit with the jab, but it works. He just steamrolls people. It's just those like straight shots when he's finishing folk and stuff. Oh man,
yeah,
he's an
he's a
absolute
good
beast.
finisher. He's a good finisher,
Yeah.
he does just hit hard. Also, he completely like shocked off Blaydes' attempted takedown. Like Blaydes shot and it was. I think you said actually last time, like as soon as you see him like defend the first takedown, you start being like, oh,
Oh
oh
no.
Lord, oh Lord,
Blaydes probably was like, oh god.
yeah. Well, because Blaydes was trying to fight like compete on the feet with him. And then I think he realized that it wasn't going so well, and then shot and had the takedown defended straight away, and then well, shortly after he got finished. So yeah, um, I don't know. Heavyweight's stupid
It's
division. I
yeah,
still
it doesn't
I
make much
think
sense.
Blade's better. Still.
But I tell you, I think Jones beats Pavlovich, to be honest. I mean, we haven't seen because he is
Yeah,
so explosive, we've not really seen too much of his ground game over the past couple of years, over the past few years. So it's hard to tell really how good it is, but I think Jones handles him on the ground, to be honest. Similar to the I think he'd make quick work
yeah.
of
I don't know.
Pavlovich.
I guess obviously we've lost Ngannou, but now with him gone, I think Pavlovich represents the hardest hitting
Yeah.
striker in the top of the division, the biggest differential in power from 205 to
Hmm.
heavyweight. So I would definitely tune in. It'd be very interesting, but I feel like Jones just isn't going to risk it. He'll go get a big payday against Miocic,
Yeah.
and then maybe just call it a day.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be the smart thing to do, to be honest,
Yeah.
to be honest. But
What might
um,
happen? Tom Aspinall might. I reckon they'll book him with Tybura because those two have been calling each other out
mhm.
for London. If Aspinall wins that, easy enough. Well, that's in July. Maybe there'll be enough time for him to get back in there with Pavlovich, maybe for a number one contender bout as well. Because that's a fight I'd like to see. That's actually
Yeah.
probably one of my favorite stylistic matchups in the division right now, Aspinall versus Pavlovich. Because like
Yeah.
Pavlovich is a wrecking ball of just pure power and violence, whereas Tom really has some. He's got power, don't get me wrong, but he's got technique.
Skillful.
He's got a variety of skills that he can pull out. So uh, that's that would be my preferred fight if the Jones fight isn't available.
Yeah. Um, Definitely. I think you could mix it on the feet with Pavlovich as well, which would be
Yeah,
interesting.
for real. Brad Tavares got starched. I thought he was going to win by decision. I was completely wrong. Yeah, I think that's the first time Tavares has been knocked out,
Yeah, I think so.
which is
The chin has been cracked. Bruno
yeah,
Silva's decent. I rate him. I thought he was quite. Was he a reason? He wasn't a massive underdog, but I thought the line was a little off when I looked at it.
wait.
But
Also, I've just chatted absolute rubbish there. He got head kicked by Edmund Shabazian in the first round. In
oh,
like,
and then Shabazin has done
and
not very much since.
yeah, Whitaker also knocked him out. So did Tim Bosch. I don't know what I'm on about. Fire me from someone else step in. Yeah. No, fair play to Bruno Silva. Who do I saw someone, I think it was Zane Simon from Bloody Elbow saying he should fight Joe Pyfer next. Hell yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I think it's a fun one. Fun
why
one.
the hell not? They've got a common opponent in Gerald Meerschaert. So yeah, why not? I don't know. I still don't really
Yeah.
care. I just like yeah, no.
I know what you mean. I know. I do know what you mean. It's sometimes it's hard to get when it's week on like week after week of like not necessarily it's a bit sub. The card was subpar,
Oh, it was. Yeah.
realistically.
Well, partly because we lost Ricky Simone versus Song Dong because that's headlining next week after they lost Sayukin versus Moicano. So that
But
really
should
thinned this card out a bit.
Sayukin versus Morcano is not a main event either. Like it's not. Like I was saying this earlier, he's getting a main event because he's already done one. Do you know what I mean? It
Uh,
just like it annoys me. They just rotate the same people for these main events. It's daft. But it's hard to get excited over things that like it doesn't have much meaning.
yeah.
There's no build up. There's I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, fair play to Bruno
Well,
Silva. Moves on.
the only other one I want to talk about is the no contest from the Bobby Green versus Jared Gordon fight. Jared Gordon was giving a fairly good account of himself, I think, up until Green sort of lunges forward with a step up elbow and misses the elbow, and the heads just directly collide forehead to forehead. Gordon goes down. It isn't knocked out, but like, clearly compromised, I think that is the right word. Green capitalizes, knocks him out straight up with ground and pound.
Yeah.
Looks like he's won. The Joe Martinez even starts to announce it, and halfway through, he's like, "Oh wait, hang on, they're still deciding." Um, and yeah, eventually it's announced it's a no contest.
I mean, I don't know how Green was surprised that it was a no contest. I mean, I've seen similar moves, similar headbutts at the pub. Like he did just flying headbutt him, and it's
Yeah,
like,
the Scottish.
and the referee should have stepped. I mean, the referee should have stepped in there.
Oh
But
yeah, yeah. But I guess if he didn't, it was real fast. Like when I was watching it, I didn't realize it was a headbutt until they did it afterwards.
yeah,
So and because the motion was with the elbow, he was stepping in. Depending on where the referee was stood, I give some leniency on that. To be fair,
yeah.
what do you think about Felder? Like getting well, obviously they're former teammates. They are friends as well, him and Jared Gordon. But he got really, I don't know. It was a very, I don't know, just
Emotional,
yeah,
animated.
yeah,
Well,
like,
I think it's like if you're gonna have guy, they know this, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it's that like it actually is a bit more real, to be honest. I think it's like, do you know what I mean? It's a real reaction. They all like, and if you're gonna have people commentating fights that know are friends or know
yeah,
people, I swear, didn't he corner someone that he was on a card he was like
yeah.
commentating
I,
on?
I think that was Jared Gordon.
Yeah, yeah, but it's like that. This is that's gonna happen. Do you know what I mean? And
Mm,
fair play, it's his mate. He's what he's seen is he's been knocked out illegally, and
yeah,
then so it happens. It's unfortunate. What is unfortunate about these ones is they don't get their win bonus either. I don't think they
no,
won't get
no,
their,
no.
which is just like because if someone's, it's like well, if you lose and someone else gets it, fair enough. But neither
Yeah,
of the guys get it. It's
yeah, it's a bit
I don't know.
shit.
I
Uh,
wish they'd do something about that. To be honest.
yeah. Did you hear when Felder essentially replied to the guys like I don't know in the back room, telling him to calm down? He's like, yeah, yeah, I'm chill now. Jesus. And what made it even worse is like as they're showing the replay of Green headbutting Gordon, just to make things more unprofessional and chaotic, Dominic Cruz goes, "Oh, it's clearly a left." No one threw a left.
Dominic Cruz, like he's got such a
Uh,
great mind for the sport and he comes
yeah,
with really great insight. But then other times he says some stupid stuff.
honestly, the thing I right. Sorry, something like 70% of the time, I actually really quite like him as a commentator.
Yeah,
But it's just like you're like, I'm watching, I'm like, yeah, that's some really good. Why are you saying that? Halfway through
I know 100% what
every
you mean.
single time. Like when he was saying Conor McGregor was letting Habib wear
Again,
himself out by getting ground and pounded.
fucking mental.
Yeah.
I think he is one of the better commentators. There is some commentators I just think are awful, but Joe
Who's
Rogan is the worst commentator ever. He's so
yeah.
bad.
Well,
He
it's because
just needs to stop.
he doesn't follow the sport anymore, like much, like the way that he used to. And yeah, I think you can tell.
Oh,
Uh,
he's hurt. That's it. That's all you. And then you. That's it.
yeah.
That's all he does. And it's like,
Oh.
and no one will call him out because they all like want to
But
be on his podcast or
yeah,
you know
exactly.
what I mean. It's definitely frustrating.
Let's move over from the world of MMA to the world of boxing. Once again, as our residential boxing expert, give us the run. Well, I mean, you were right. First of all, Tank Davis did it.
What can I say? What can I say? Yeah. I mean, if you did pick Garcia, you were obviously stupid for doing so. It was a sir. Yeah. I mean, Tank Davis is like, I think his experience and he's known as a big power puncher, but he's got a good mind for the sport as well, and
Hmm.
he's his boxing is progressed. The little tricks he likes to utilize, really impressive. He's that super athletic as well. Fair play to Garcia. He's only 24. You'll come again. Still not won a world title though. So maybe get on that. Moving up to 140, but yeah, great fight, good event, and it's good to see boxing like it did. It took over the weekend, I think. Like I was
Yeah.
mostly what I was seeing on my timeline and stuff like that. So, yeah. Big shout out to Joe Cordina as well. He won the IBF title,
Yes. Yeah.
Stone
Yeah.
Crown in Wales, against a tough opponent. So that was super
But
impressive as well.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought he was fighting Shavkat Rakhmonov. I saw that name. Oh, hang on
Oh,
a minute.
but
But
man, that
yeah,
body shot
definitely
that Davis landed at the end, it was just it
crumpled.
didn't look like much, but on the it was straight on the liver, and it
Yeah.
just shuts you down. People were criticizing Garcia. He was done. He was done. And Tank, he is a fantastic finisher
Oh,
and a very brutal one as well. So probably the better thing that he stayed down,
yeah.
and he probably couldn't have gotten up, to be honest. It was yeah, but another he moves on, and I think there's some other good fights at lightweight. I think he should fight the winner of Haney and Lomachenko, but they still, I think, of the young group of lightweights, he's one of the better ones. I think, but I
Mm.
think Shakur Stevenson is the
Oh,
best of them all. But
yes.
good to see
Stevenson's good.
young guys kind of fighting each other. So hopefully we just do this more because people love it, and no one's gonna shade Garcia because that's what people are so concerned about. Like, oh,
Mm.
I don't want to lose my O, but yeah,
Yeah. That's one of the worst things about boxing, I think, the fear of losing their undefeated status. And I think that's what hurts it so often because it makes every single fight, the negotiations and whatnot, so tedious. And
yeah,
also was a breath of fresh air the way that
yeah.
this fight was negotiated. Like, big up to Garcia because he really gave up some I don't know,
Like
favorable
the high,
negotiation
the
stuff. Yeah,
yeah,
rehydration, weight limit, etc. Um, so yeah, and also what you said last week is a big boxing event is better than like a standard UFC event, right? Or you said
yeah.
it's better than a pay-per-view. I don't know if I agree with that, but this really did feel
I
like
think it's a
especially with the direct comparison to an Apex UFC event. I
yeah.
was I was just like, oh yeah, I'm
I
feeling this
think
now. I'm into it.
the big boxing events are massive, and there's
Yeah.
something quite special about it. I
Mm.
think. See, when he walked out with Chief Keef, I was
Yeah.
like, "This fight's over. Just don't even walk out. Like the fight's over."
Yeah. Oh, the
Fantastic
only
to
thing
see, though.
is, what I was watching it on, the audio was delayed only for the walkout, not for the rest of it. So Chief Keef was like rapping, and then he'd pause, and then the audio play. I was like
Oh man,
trying to figure out if it was like what do you call it when he's like miming the words into
lip syncing,
lip
yeah.
syncing? Yeah, yeah.
Oh
Yeah, cracking fight, really good fun. Would definitely recommend giving it a watch because it's a fun fight to watch as well.
yeah,
Both men have moments of the success with obviously Tank getting the win in the end.
and
Um,
I called the counter off Garcia's left hook as well. Just want to point that out there in the
yeah,
second
well,
round.
I
So.
mean, a lot of people thought that. So,
Well, I know.
all right, well done,
Yep.
well done, well done.
um,
Uh, I want to give a quick shout out to Patchy Mix. Oh my, did you see that knee? Wow,
super. I hit it so well. It just like,
it's
oh
perfect.
man, he
And
was
Rafian
out.
Stots is like legit. Like I genuinely, I would fancy his chances in the top 10 of the UFC bantamweight division, right? I think he's
Yeah,
a really legit fighter. And the fact that Mix did that, I just, yeah, sensational. Plus, he's a grappler. He's a submission grappler. And he's going out there and like fucking step kneeing
man, super
um
nice, man.
Rafian Stots. So yeah, that's the new Bellator bantamweight champion. He also wins $1 million because it's the Grand Prix.
Tournament.
Yeah, so good night for
I
Patchy
love the
Mix.
tournament thing.
Yeah,
I think it's really good to see. I
I
love
like
it.
it. I like it. Um then yeah, speak on Haggerty defeating Nong-O. Yeah, one of the biggest upsets. It's one of those that I went to bed, I didn't even watch it. I was like, I'll go to bed because I know who's gonna win. Obviously Nong-O is just gonna, it'll be fun to watch Haggerty do his thing, but yeah, we know how this is gonna finish. Wow.
Yeah,
You wake up the next day and I mean, I didn't like well, I guess it's just part of the rule set, but the 10 count in Muay Thai, the man really did get concussed 3 times in 30
Yeah,
seconds. Eventually knocked clean out, but can't take anything away from Haggerty because wow.
he looked sharp. If you like striking, it like the 4 ounce glove Muay Thai is
Yeah.
so good. I think it produces like you rarely get a boring fight, really.
Mm.
And it
Hmm.
like ties generally, like they are different. They are different gravy. They are and Aggie looked so good. And he's moving
Mm.
up in weight as well.
Yeah.
Big upset. Yeah. You know, he spoke about going because his dad was an MMA fighter. He's
Mm.
spoken about moving into MMA. I bet he could. Well, he'd probably do it with one. He'd be
I wouldn't
he'd
be
be
surprised. Yeah,
serious.
one love like crossing over their fires. I was chatting to Soldich a couple of weeks ago, and he was saying he wants to potentially even do like a quadruple belt thing where he captures like obviously MMA, kickboxing, Muay Thai, and then even open up like a boxing division as well, and just take all four.
That'd be
Um,
cool, man.
I mean, I don't think he'll do all four, but I mean, he's definitely skilled enough to get MMA and kickboxing, maybe Muay Thai. Um, so yeah, one championship or always a quality package to watch. I'm trying to think if there's anyone else who got wins on Bellator that are worth giving a shout out. Pico is just still doing Pico things, being a monster.
He's
Uh,
insane, man.
he is. It's just his career has been a bizarre
Yeah,
spectacle, but yeah,
he's got all the tools there. Do you know what I mean? He's very like
definitely,
naturally
definitely.
gifted. I
Oh,
feel bad for Bellator because they were on the same night as the UFC, but they always lose to that.
yeah,
And the biggest boxing fight of the year so far.
yeah.
So yeah, but
Well, yeah, it was a double night thing, but yeah. Um, I think that wraps things up for today. Not a super long podcast today, but we hit everything that went on over the weekend. I feel like I'm missing something.
yeah, so do I. I feel like there's probably
Maybe not.
something.
There were more fight announcements as well that we didn't brush over last week. Whitaker, Duplessis. It looks like Jack Della Maddalena is going to be fighting
Sean
Sean
Brady.
Brady. Um, those Dan Hooker versus Jalen Turner's been rebooked. Oh,
Why?
my heart.
Why?
Why? Yeah,
They want him to get hurt.
they
They
do.
want Hooker to get hurt.
They do.
Revenge for the IV claims. The
Oh my god, it actually is as well. I bet he would have been fighting like Moicano or someone otherwise, but nah.
Ali's going,
Yeah,
just feed him to
go
Turner.
on, go on.
He's being too mouthy.
Lord.
We know what Ali's like.
Yeah. Anyway, once those fights eventually do come about, we'll break those down in more detail. Next week we've got UFC Fight Night, Yadong versus Simon, which is a good main event and a pretty atrocious undercard. I think Cage Warriors Dublin might be next week or maybe the week after. I'm not sure. That's a good one, regardless. Jimmy Wallhead versus Reese McKee, and then
Great fight.
Oban Elliott versus James Sheehan on there as well. Some very good fights. Yeah. This week I interviewed Losin Cater from Octagon and Nathan Fletcher, so go check those both out on the MMA Stream channel. And we will be back midweek, Thursday, Friday next week again. So yeah, follow Murdo_Todd on Twitter, myself, Frank Bonada, and we out.